Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Bengtson. Today we want to share with you just some tidbits from a person's experience traveling the valley of being a caregiver for someone with dementia. I'm curious, a lot of people wonder how to even know when to get help for someone. How do you know if this is just normal aging versus something more serious? In your journey with a wife who's been diagnosed with dementia, what were your early warning signs that, this might be something significant?
I guess there were two very early indicators which I really didn't recognize at the time. One was a reduction in her vocabulary. There were certain words that she used over and over. One was container. She could use it as a verb or as an adjective, and anything could be a container, from her friend to a bag of potatoes to a desk or a table. It all could be, when that word didn't come to her, it was container. The other factor was in her ability to drive. She had been going to the same vacation spot for over 50 years and knew the area very well. But one of the last times we were up there, she drove into town and became completely lost and had to have help from a state trooper to get back home. And then furthermore, when we were driving back home over a 2-day trip, we would both take turns driving home. But in the early stages, I recognized that she was no longer able to follow the instructions on the road signs or my instructions of where to turn off. And this was probably one of the last times that she drove a car.
So there was a change in functioning from what you'd previously noted.
Yes.
And this was a previously very bright woman who was very capable.
And these were all very gradual. They didn't happen. If you ask me at what time I knew she had Alzheimer's, I have a hard time pinpointing what that point was.
Because we all have lapses in memory. So we all forget words now and then. We all forget conversations. We all might have difficulty finding a location. But it was a pattern that happened.
And initially it was a very gradual decline in the vocabulary, just sometimes a few words that she would use to replace other words. So there would be a long but gradual decline. And then maybe in a few months there would be a much more rapid decline, and then another gradual plateau down.
But at some point you knew.
Yeah.
Things were just not right.
Eventually, yeah.
So I guess what is important to take from this, though, is that if you start noticing that there's a change in your loved one from previous functioning, you don't have to know if this is something significant or if this is just normal variation in aging. That's the time when it's important to seek out medical attention. Go to your neurologist, go to your neuropsychologist. Let them be the one to make the determination. It's not up to you to make that decision. But if there's a concern, it warrants seeking it out. For more tips and more suggestions, go to my website, drmichelleb.com. Hope prevails.